Hello, Collective. Welcome to a timeless reading of yours. Whatever brings you here, there may have been something that caught your eye or your curiosity, and with that being said, there may be something within this reading here for you. Please bear in mind a few details before we get into the reading that I am Master 7th, aka 7th, that reads these energies for you. I am a remote master healer as well as a tarot intuitive interpreter. If you'd like to know any more details about me, there are several different links within the description box and access to my sister channel to get you started and see where that journey may take you. I will ask that you consider subscribing to both of my channels for all the content that is available, and content to come is meant for your viewing pleasures. As with any reading, remember that this is not a personalized reading for you. I did not make that connection with you. This is a collective, energetic reading. However, this may apply to you, is utilized best in using your discernment. And as you leave the reading behind, leave the rest behind that didn't belong to you, as you take the things that are with you forward. All right. Already starting off with my least favorite energy. Let me change this music. So we are starting off with the Seven of Swords. If you know anything about my other channel, I am always pretty pissed when the energy comes up. I think that energy is the worst card in the depiction of the entire tarot deck. So Seven of Swords with the Four of Pentacles, yeah? You're being robbed in all aspects, okay? In all aspects, you're being robbed. And it's just... I'm hearing it's the karmic behavior from the energetic clout that Ether has. Ether itself, she is vindictive. Ether herself, she is pissed. Ether herself is filled to the brim of vengeance, and she can't really do any harm while having all this vengeance. She just wants to make sure that however her vengeance was triggered, that the pushback to feeling her pain will be the frequencies responsible for her to have been triggered will be met with karmic absolution. I don't know how to define that, because there's only one way that the ether swings, and it's in multiple ways. So that's a very finite way of expressing her anger. Her anger is not vindictive, all right? She's not out to kill. She's not out to demolish. She is out to get back to what was hers, because what is what is hers, and wherever her energy was taken to help curate wherever it was desired without giving the respect that it was actually her piece of the crystal that was stolen from her, is exactly the narrative that has been in somewhat of a narrative of being braided together for several years now. We can safely assume it's 2016 that this braid was slowly being introduced to itself, and now the braid is becoming conscious. I don't know how to that's the message. All right, now you've heard me say she energy. That she energy, folks, all of you, all you beautiful ladies and gentlemen and all those in between and beyond, she energy is the he energy. Wherever in your consciousness you have placed he, put the letter S in front of it, and I guarantee you it'll be a little bit louder, a little bit more defined than the he energy that has you feeling as if you don't know what the fuck is going on. And how can we feel like we don't know what's going on when the people who value whatever label they need in order to justify what they think their God is, or what God is, or the all-knowing. The all-knowing is the all-knowing, ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between and beyond. You can't outwit the all-knowing. And you sure as hell also cannot explain yourself for her, or for it, if for her is too much for the common folk. All right. Well, shit's about to get cracking. All right. And for those of you who are coming across this reading, it's meant for you, as already depicted. I'm recording this reading one of the last moments of 2024. In the energies that I speak for, we don't give a shit about January 1st, 2025 energy. It's just not what you think it is. The demands do not need to be met then. It's a nice try, it's a nice effort. It is a big jump, right? The whole 365 days from 2024, and then all that changing to January 1st, 2025. It's, again, energetically, what that collective intelligence is compared to the intelligence that the all-knowing has, that is without calendar. It's not important. So a lot of people are coincidentally going into religion in the regards towards trying to figure out what they're connected to, because they just feel out of sorts, out of odds, and they feel robbed. So a lot of you are going into this natural calling of existentialism and having your biorhythm speak for itself and computing itself as if you're the computer hardware and software of your own making, and bringing rhyme and reason to this, which is your sole responsibility and has been. You've been told by a very loud siren in 2020 that there is a collective drama on this planet, and it would be wise to pay attention. It also wise to understand that it's not the holy grail of explaining what the destiny of everyone on this planet is or will go. Like, no one can shape your destiny. No one can tell you your destiny. That is a decision you make on your own the moment you realize that breath that you take to be in this very second here is something that no one is doing for you. The only way that someone can control you is trying to get to your mind, trying to get to your gut instincts, trying to get to your emotional headspace and emotional chest space. And where some of you might think that to not trust your mind because the mind can play tricks on you. And it's true. I mean, I think in more ways than not, it's meant to, right? And I think we've also forgotten that the heart does not know what it wants, and your heart is between the mind and the gut. So it needs help in order for it to be thriving the best. So with the major arcanic star card here, this feeling to answer to something is going to be so autonomous, yet also thrilled and enthralled, with the thrill of wanting to know what vibration you're in. I don't know how to explain that besides letting the collective know that individuals within that collective will be given more pressure because they are meant to wake up, or at least expand in consciousness, to become more open-minded. And in a way that I can make that a bit more triggering is to say that you may possibly be the one then going under a sense of cognitive dissonance. And that won't happen in 2025 on January 1st. No. Can't stress more that hands are very important. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to have hands in order to be a powerful individual. It's just to say that if you have hands, they're very powerful. And when one has expanded their mind and has become curious of how vast their own personal energy is and how magnetic it is towards everything and reactionary towards everything, that the hands is one of the it's overlooked. Okay, the wellness of your hands are being overlooked, whether it's not washing them more or well enough, not being more cognizant of the soap you use, understanding that the water that you're probably washing them on and with is not clean. Okay, water is not magic. That tap water, that New York best tap water, and no matter how much you love your mayor, it ain't good water. I'm not here to prove how important hands are. But for those of you who are like religious butterflies, will have made a connection with empathizing that you like the feeling that that philosophy and theory makes you be or understand, or even also show up to the life that you want to show up to. And to give it a bit more credit, without it being a religious scripture of any kind that needs to be like broken down and told, it's scientifically going to be put it in a little box for me right in this moment, and I'm going to say it's seventh dimensional consciousness. And seventh dimensional consciousness is not just now available here, it's been available a long time ago. And with a lot of things being in the way, politically the most, the fact that it's been around hasn't been made available by a lot of people, and that's where that consciousness is coming back around, because people have slowly taken themselves out of this so-called matrix and found themselves in a vibration that offers them a lot more than wherever they were, that they felt wasn't part for them anymore. They were searching within themselves some way or another in order to be able to come out stronger on some form of passion, having met your maker. Because that energy that speaks to you makes you react, makes you maybe vengeful, makes you want to provide, wants you to be that nurturer, be that doer, be that survivor, be that all right, that force to get after and towards what it is that's yours has been depicted as a masculine energy. And that masculine energy is still ambiguous, is still not gender specific. But with storytelling, it has been made very gender specific, and that's the problem. All of a sudden, there is a vicious cycle that has the same chaos to it. How do I explain this? Those people who pulled themselves out of the matrix, they understand why. They understand what the fuck that took. They understood. Okay? And now the position that they're sitting themselves at, whether that's you or you know somebody who gives you that feeling like, wow, you're there and I want to get there. The people that are there are like, yo, fuck you for not understanding the price I had to pay in order to be here where I am, because that's the part of the story that in the position that I am, you're more or less never going to be able to be available to hear, because you're going to be adamant and wanting to know how I got here and the tools I did in order for you to possibly do the same thing, to be at the same position, above, unilaterally, wherever you see this individual as. And this individual has also their own fucking vengeance to be like, listen, I have my wisdom. I have my success. I am the emperor of what I have been doing. I put myself here. I did the work. I surrendered into the pain, and I listened. And I listened so much so that I got to the end of the tunnel and it spoke to me. However, that energy spoke to me is such a sacred knowing that however I want to share my accolades with you is a gift that does not come for free, because I didn't do any of this shit for free. It just comes at no cost. And the value is priceless. And that's the money that she energy is looking at right now and saying, wow, this little idea of money is very, very, very unforgivably, I think I just made that up, inaccessible to the majority. And if it's not accessible to the majority, we have a problem. And if you think the money that I'm talking about is literal tangible money, you're not understanding the message. The judgment to be felt, it's judgment upon your health. There's a crisis, especially here in the United States, but I say especially in the United States because I know where I am. I know where I am. Okay? So if health rings a bell, it should. You've been on this annular annual crisis that since that time started ticking, has given us PTSD. 2020. That was a 4-year. 5 years after that, we're at a 9-year. 2025. Ether is exhausted with the individuals who need to convince and knowing that they have within themselves with an obsession that requires them being on a phone and just scrolling. And as I'm looking at this card, it's the Eight of Wands, which is the messenger card about messages and just lots of data, you know? But the data is ambiguous. You don't really know what you're looking at. You're not like really sure what you're looking for. So the danger zone is that you're bringing in so much funneled negative energy because it's negative before it becomes an acknowledged point of view by you. And you have covered your energetical self with inundated useless information. And part of that consciousness has to filter out all that bullshit in order to get to the root of you, to flick you back the information that you may have picked up along the way in order to give you the information that you actually were looking for. Those are called epiphanies. You know, you could be looking at something and then like 3 days later, like, oh. And Ether is upset with that, okay? She's not upset about technology, okay? It's helping her out way more than you think it does. She's upset by the idiocracies of the gaslighting that keeps coming from the miraculous ways you get to breathe without her shooting you down. This isn't about not giving honor to those who have difficult lives. It's not about that. It's not about that. This is about self. And the more your mind is going to go teetering somewhere else, that it's somebody else's problem or unhealed parts of yourself due to somebody else, you're part of the problem. I need to move on for this. But anyway, most of the judgments coming forward into letting you know that Ether is in control for the majority will be via health. Via health. Okay? And this could be, I mean, you could start off small and say that, you know, you've never had allergic reactions before, and all of a sudden you eat that thing again that you once loved and you have an allergic reaction. Boom. That's the Ether watching. Being sick for a long time. Maybe going to a healer who is not a doctor, but that person healed you. I'm telling you, Mother Energy is pissed. Mother Energy is pissed. Pissed. She's over it. Mother energy is over it. When was the last time? When was the last time you heard of God energy and with it heard mother? You can't. You can't identify it. Something's fishy about that. Just the fact that I'm bringing it up doesn't feel right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to my energy, congratulations. Congratulations. And if you're returning to my energy, I appreciate your patience. Okay. So the things that are fishy in life, we don't really know how to make sense to. So ether is also very forgiving in that. I don't know how to make this make sense, y'all, because this is too many emotions, but none of the emotions want to be emoted, okay? Because the energy is like, no, I'm above the fucking narrative, but it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, and it doesn't mean I'm not going to say a little Q too. Sassy, okay? Not a bitch, but sassy. Not conniving, not cunning, sassy. Slice and dicing kind of energy. And it fucking sounds familiar and it comes across a little bullish. Seven of Swords took the lead of this reading, ladies and gentlemen, all those in between and beyond. I'm not going to be very apologetic for whatever words come and slice the ego in order to get a little bit closer to the soul that has you be here in this moment. Whether it's one or a million of you, it's in the collective. I'm not concerned whose ego is going to be part of the entertainment. There are distractions. There are distractions with the Three of Cups. It's too many. Someone's relying on too many opinions in order to get to his or her truth. Someone's meshing in too many different emotional dramas that has nothing to do with them. They're above the narrative. They're not really entertained by this shit. It's a lot of the shit is outdated. A lot of you have closed a lot of chapters about yourself, but ironically keep somehow being entertained or engrossed in the same similar patterns. And you want to blame your God for that instead of blaming yourself. Who or what is going to do the rejuvenation for yourself? Who, what, when, where, or how is going to do the rejuvenation for yourself? How are you going to, who are you going to, what is it, what's going to happen? When is it going to happen? There is so many questions, yet none of them are being done with the mind. All are being done with the heart space, because the heart space is telling you and convincing you that it is the rejuvenating force that defines your destiny. Because, oh, how beautiful it is for a human to emote. If that were the case, we'd have a better handle on how these emotions tell our story and how to unify us a bit more. But ironically, we're manipulating, gaslighting, and holding people on a very devalued place when they're talking about their emotions, or we're politicizing them for a higher agenda. That is wrong. In the eye of the universe, it's not justifiable. It's a hodgepodge of mess to think that the emotions is intelligent. However, become emotional intelligent. We might have a better handle, quite literally here, with our full-bodied self of how ambiguous we might be looking at, or what is human species. What is that? To an alien, we are an alien. And to a dog, we're not human. So whatever this is that is having us float in the sky, it's ambiguous. It's such a big, heavy weight. It's a burden. Well, at the same time, it's supposed to be infinite, limitless, opportunistic, symbolic, ironic, while it being also fortuitous and foreshadowing, climax, plot. So many things are supposed to generate within this, and so many things do. It's called your lifetimes of chapters. Some of you are astrological readers and are so inundated with the houses, conjunction, this, that, blah, 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 blah. To the onlooker, they're like, oh, that's so cool, you know this information. And from someone in my position reading that energy, my ego's going to be a little bit above the moment for a second and say, to speak that dialect is not going to be beneficial for anyone, because it's not a dialect. To wake up in the morning and say, I'm in my 5th house with the conjunction of this planet and this planet, so please, I don't want to talk to you right now. Or because of this placement, I deserve the right not to talk to you right now. Lord. Ace of Pentacles. By eyesight alone, it seems as though that no matter what perception you have and feeling like you're the weight being anchored in the inopportunity to fly fluidly, like more in a more fluid. Sorry, these words are just choppy. In a very fluid way, it is of a benefit for you. It is opportunistic. It is of value. It is something that once you come down onto the ground, it can profit you in more ways than you could possibly even fucking imagine. The power of your fucking hands. Alright, look at this. The energies of the Wheel of Fortune is surrounded by 2 hands. Hello. Hello. Could it be any more Reiki-esque? Right? you come closer and look at my bio somewhere, you'll know that I'm a master Reiki healer. It's not just that. I'm not just a master Reiki healer. I'm a master Zai healer. And you can't find that shit nowhere. Try to Google that shit. All right. So many fucking questions, but when it comes to showing up and providing due justice for yourself, are you actually showing up as the individual to do something about it? Ugh. She's literally crowning and giving you some form of an identity by saying that she is in charge of this. She's in charge of this. Whatever you feel not good, she's in charge of. Whatever she feels good at, she's in charge of. She is in charge of this. And she has been robbed by being improperly pronouned. Seven of Swords. Things are out of sorts. Stop looking down. Start looking up. Death card. The next cycle is going to be absolutely okay. And it is not to be feared, and you do not hold on to anything. You watch and you learn. You watch and you learn. All right, some of you have lost so many close people that their energies are loud for a reason, and they're not here to tell you, to remind you every day that you're supposed to be sad. I know this is cunning because probably one of the most valuable energy that speaks the loudest when being triggered is sadness, because of the nostalgia of desire that the ego is facing and having a missing placement and wanting to fill it. That's what the ether wants to remind you. Death does not separate. It's living that does. When's the last time the person that you said casually I love you to, that you went out to lunch with them, or you randomly gave them a little love note? And this could be your neighbor or a fucking like family, cousin. And these are individuals who, inundated in political stigma of society, were supposed to love. Some of y'all will be like, well, that's not the point of it. Correct, it's not. DNA is almost not important. Judgment card here again. So like I said, this transformation will be loud. Allow the emotions to come. Allow the emotions to run through you. if you are someone who's tried so many different things and are not feeling it's not free, but if you're not feeling sovereign and sustainable, then even the healers that you have been in contact with are completely depleted with energy to be of valuable wellness for you. They can't access anymore. They've reached their limit and they don't know how to tell you. But if you're an individual that has had a past life regression, for example, and you do not feel better, it's not good. It's not good. It doesn't mean that the healer didn't do their job or that it didn't do it well enough. It's just that the energies that you're accessing or have the energies they're accessing is limited. Going back into past life regression for a moment. If you operate with an individual that can teach you the fundamental difference of what emotions is, like for example, I'm becoming emotional now. I'm becoming emotional because I'm recognizing that there are misdeeds and unfortunate ways that people have been manipulated and lied to, and in that are still suffering. And that's my sadness. And then there's a different type of sadness I want to encroach upon, that let's say you went in an under past life regression and you are describing a scenario and you mention you were sad. That depiction of sadness, despite the fact that there might be chaotic things and events occurring in that memory or the unboxing of the occurrence, that it's not sadness of that moment that you remember. It's sadness of this present body's recognition that it did not have the right frequency of understanding what sadness is supposed to be in this lifetime. I'm not gonna explain it any other way at this moment. All right, collective, I'm being told to leave the messages where they are. I am working with Ether to see how, when, where, who, what, when, where, all that jazz, more content can be made available for you. I do strongly hope that this is intriguing enough that there is a connection already have made, and I look forward to you listening or utilizing both of my channels to get more content and anticipatory of more to come. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space, and may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.